from the School of Political Studies and director of the Institute for Science, Society, and Policy at the University of Ottawa, full Professor Monica Gattinger joins me this morning. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Did I say your last name right?
That's fine, Gattinger.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor, for joining us. This, for a country with the world's third largest oil reserve, I know, look, there are some people in the environmental movement who say all of that oil should stay in the ground, but let's set that argument aside right now. For a country so abundant in natural resources, this seems like a peculiar vulnerability, that it could be so vulnerable that 4.5 miles of underwater pipeline could risk basically the energy security of half the country. What do you think about that?
Well, it's hard to disagree with you, Rob, on that one. And I think, this case underscores a couple of things. One, that debates and politics around energy and environment are very alive and well. I think that's a big lesson here. And then I think the second thing it underscores is that we ignore energy security at our peril. And, we really need to think about these issues. It's not just for oil and gas, but it's for all sources of energy, making sure we've got them available and affordable when we need them.
Okay. How could we go about constructing such a dialogue given the polarization of the issue, Professor?
Well, this is, I think, an area where, it's really important to get some of these facts on the table. Okay. The first being, and many folks in the environmental community are well aware of this and acknowledge this, that oil and gas are going to be with us for decades to come. Yes, there'll be a reduction in consumption of oil and gas, but these are going to be energy resources we're going to be continuing to use. And then the question becomes, how do we make sure that we use them and develop them in the most environmentally responsible way, and we transport them in the most environmentally responsible, secure, and economical fashion? I mean, the irony here, Rob, is that shutting down this pipeline would actually increase emissions in terms of the transportation of that oil and increase risk as well.
Yeah, because the oil will move. The energy companies have assured us that it will move. Enbridge has assured us it will move. It might not move through a pipeline. It may mean, if they're available, rail cars or transport trucks, right, Professor?
That's
ships
exactly
on
right.
the ships on the Great Lakes or in seaways or what have you.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And Enbridge itself has actually noted that it doesn't think that there would be enough capacity on the, in terms of rail and other shippers to be able to move the volume of product. So we would still be, I think, in a situation where, yes, some of that product would be finding its way to where it needs to go. But there would definitely be supply disruptions, and we can certainly expect price spikes in the wake of that.
Okay. So perhaps this could serve as a wake-up call. I see it as a big reality check for me. That's how I view it, Professor. Okay, you say we should. It's a noble goal, a greener economy, a cleaner planet, decarbonization, all of it. We're not there yet, though. It's a reality check that we're not there yet. And if you want to know how far away it is, shut down Line 5 and we'll see how far away it is.
Well, I think, one of the things that I've seen change in the debate that to me is a positive is that, now that we're looking at what do we need to do between now and 2030, but also what do we need to do between now and 2050, it starts to open up the mind to, how do you undertake an energy transition that is really a massive transformation of our energy systems in a way that, is not only going to be reducing emissions, but to your point about a wake-up call, is going to be making sure that the energy needs we have today in terms of, availability of fuels, affordability of fuels, that is there as well. Because if you don't have that energy security piece, a lot of these climate actions can actually be one step forward and two steps back, because people say, hey, wait a moment, I have energy needs and they need to be fulfilled in a way that's affordable, and let's make sure we move forward on climate action in a fashion that ensures we've got energy security as well.
Yeah, and it's not just about fossil fuels, right? Energy security. It's about the security of the electricity grid. It's all sorts of different types of energy security. It's not just about the flow, say, of oil through a pipeline, for example.
Oh, completely agreed.
Yeah.
The massive blackout in Texas would be a great and devastating illustration of that. In the absence of really planning for the security of that system, you've got these severe weather events that knocked off a large system and led to pretty devastating consequences in terms of human health and the economy. So you're right, it's across all energy sources. And this is something that I think, for the most part, Rob, our energy providers deliver, right? We've got a system that we can count on to deliver, reliable, affordable energy. And we kind of forget about it. I think, start to take it for granted. And then you've got situations like this that are a really important reminder, a reality check, to use your words, that we have to be paying attention to this on an ongoing basis.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor. Nice to have you on.
My pleasure.
We'll
Thanks
see what
so much.
happens. Yeah. Okay. Professor Monica Gattinger, School of Political Studies, Director, Institute for Science, Society, Policy, University of Ottawa.